Welcome to Generals Stadium for this game tonight between the Nitro Wildcats and the Winfield Generals on a windy, cool April evening in West Virginia on tax day. Hope everyone got those taxes filed and you can sit back, relax, and watch what should be a good one between the Wildcats and the Winfield Generals. I'm Rick Lord along with Anthony Lewis on the call tonight. Anthony, we have it's not as windy as it was earlier today. It's still very, very cold, but there is a bit of a wind going from left to right with gusts to straightaway right. Might help the left-handed bats out here tonight.
Yeah, I don't think we order this type of weather in mid-April. You're hoping it's a little bit warmer, especially here on the Kanawha River. But everybody's suited up, got their long-sleeve shirts on and sweatshirts in the dugout, so we're ready for a good ball game between the Generals and the Wildcats.
Both teams coming off a loss. The Generals dropping one to Huntington last Friday. Meanwhile, Nitro 6 days ago losing 9-1 at Sissonville. Nitro, of course, and Winfield, both historically very good programs. You see that a lot in this region. The western Kanawha County, Putnam County region from St. Albans, Nitro, Polka, and of course all the schools in Putnam. Great baseball programs, and Nitro historically has been one of those a little bit down this year, but don't count them out, of course. In the game of baseball, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to pitching and hitting. It's basic baseball. I'm sure we'll see a good matchup on the mounds tonight. And like you said, there's a lot of great baseball being played here in Kanawha County and Putnam County, especially with these programs. These teams have been in the state tournament over the last few years, going back a little bit. And, you get down and talking about Hurricane and St. Albans and all those teams down this way. A lot of good baseball being played. We're going to see a good one tonight.
Obviously, Winfield, the defending champions. They've got Brody Illerton on the hill tonight. And we're about ready to start. Leading off for Nitro tonight will be left fielder Brody Whitman. So we got Brody versus Brody right off the top. And the first pitch is swung on and driven into right field for a single. That's the way Nitro wanted to start off the game, get a guy on base and see what could happen. So Whitman leads off with a sharp single to right.
Yeah, I mean, pitcher's going to give you a strike generally on the first pitch, so it's a good pitch to swing at. Drove it right between the first and second baseman.
Next up is third baseman Wyatt Thomas for Nitro. Squares to bunt, takes low, ball one. Kind of a sparse crowd, but you expect that on a night like tonight when people are just like, man, you know what? You take 2 steps outside, 2 steps right back inside when you feel that wind hit your face.
Yeah, perfect night to sit at home and watch it on HD Media Plus.
Anthony always coming with the plugs. I like it. Throw over to first just to make sure that runner's not getting a little too frisky over there. It'll be 1-0 to the third baseman for the Wildcats. Another throw over to first. Whitman back in safely.
So I got to watch Winfield play a little bit last year. I'll be curious to see if they try to steal on Downey. He's got a pretty good arm there behind the plate.
Yeah, he's a great kid. And as good as he is behind the plate, calling the game and managing the game, he's also a great hitter as well. As you'll see in the bottom of the inning, he'll be the first one up. When your catcher's the leadoff hitter,
yeah, that's saying something.
You know he's got a bat. Second pitch was low as well, so we're 2-0 now on Thomas. A lot of blankets and hoods up over the head tonight. Ilderton having trouble finding the strike zone on this hitter. Now 3-0. Expect to probably take here all the way with the runner on first. Try to get some runners on early. That one's in there for a strike. Ilderton trying to come back now. 3-1.
Now I'll be curious to see if they swing away here. Let's see.
Pitching from out of the stretch.
Nope.
There goes Whitman, and it's fouled back on the bunt. So we're full now. We'll see if Whitman rolls again now with a full count.
Well, obviously it's a great count to run on, and then
yeah, until you get thrown out at second.
Yeah,
then it's not so much of a good count to run on.
Yeah. Well, Downey has the arm to do it, so let's see what happens here on the full count pitch.
Miss low, so first 2 runners on board for the Nitro Wildcats. That'll bring up center fielder Noah Ross. Right-hander will step into the box.
So you think they continue to play small ball here? Or are they going to square him around, your three-batter?
Well, Noah's a tall kid, so
yeah.
Small ball from a tall kid. Big strike zone, so maybe Olderton can take advantage of that. He's been missing early. That one's fouled straight back. He was swinging, expecting that strike. As you mentioned, sometimes when you walk a guy in 4 pitches, you want to get ahead of the next hitter.
Yeah, just get it over the plate.
Oh, 1 is high. Evens the count at 1. Let's see how aggressive Will Samuel is, the coach of the Nitro. See if we get these runners in motion or maybe butt them over into scoring position. But when you got your third hitter up, usually the guy in the 3-hole can get some boys in. So he's probably up there to swing the bat, try to get a rally going. Missed on that one, so Elderton now 2-1. This one popped up. That'll stay foul, but maybe in play. Now drifting and, unable to make the play. A nice effort there from the first baseman, Blake Withrow. Just couldn't make the basket catch. And, again, when you're dealing with this kind of wind, especially a gusty wind, those kind of plays can be tricky.
Yeah, it felt like as soon as it got up there, that wind kicked in, maybe pushed that thing out of bounds and saved an out for Nitro.
Gilbertson now looks in to get the sign on 2-2. And Ross, frozen on that pitch, takes strike 3 for the first out of the inning.
He threw that earlier in the count. He threw that breaking ball, but it looked like he let it go a little high. That time he got it right across the heart of the plate.
In high school, that can sometimes be the bugaboo for kids, is if you got a nasty breaking pitch or an off-speed pitch. Those can be tough to hit. This is Sam Smith, the DH, now stepping in for Nitro. First pitch is high. Both of these teams very well coached, so situational awareness and high baseball IQ is what you can expect tonight. That one's in there. Caught the upper corner there. A little bit outside, a little bit high, but in the strike zone.
That's all right.
1-1.
Nice placement there on that.
Yeah,
0-1.
8 in the corners. Illerton working quickly tonight. Did he go? He did. 1-2.
I think he shocked him a little bit, came in on him. I don't know if he was expecting that fastball.
Yeah.
Looked like it broke a little bit.
Yeah,
too,
those
cutter.
pitches moving well for Brody tonight. That's one of those things when sometimes when it's cold out, it takes you a little bit to get warmed up. That one's laced to right. It looks like they're going to hold him up at third, so we'll have the bases juiced now with 1 out for Jake Snyder.
Now batting number 4, Jake Snyder.
Wildcats catcher will come up with a chance to get Nitro going here early in the top of the first.
They must feel pretty confident with their 5-batter. They did not want to test the arm of Blackwell there. So
well, again, sometimes in the game of baseball, with no pictures on the scorecard, it's where you hit it, not how you hit it. You know, both singles, the opposite field, just right in the hole between first and second. Nobody's got really a good swing yet in on Illerton, but good enough to get the bases loaded. First pitch, an outside called strike, 0-1. That one's in the dirt to even the count at 1. Outfield playing a little shallow. Wind picking up a little bit as that one's fouled off to the right side. 1-2 now count. You can see that American flag on the flagpole out there in right field. Anthony blowing a little bit more briskly than it was just 5 minutes ago. So we'll see. That'll be something to keep our eye on throughout the game if that wind picks up. Ilderton set. Here's the 1-2. Got him swinging. So Ilderton working his way out of this jam little by little now with 2 strikeouts, and now it's going to take a base hit to get those runs in.
He's found that corner a couple times here. He got that strike called earlier, then he went to it twice.
Now be up to Leighton Murray, the shortstop. Gets into the box. First pitch, swing and a miss. Yeah, even on those fastballs, you can see it moving a little. It's probably being helped by the wind, but Brody's got some stuff tonight.
I'm about to say his arm action says that that's pretty natural for him.
Yep. Fought off and fouled to the right side. 0-2 now. So now Murray's got to be a little defensive now, shorten that swing a little bit.
Be curious to see if he throws that breaking ball or he goes back to that fastball in the outside corner.
Yeah, it's always the challenge here with 2 strikes, right? Do you waste one? Do you try to get him to chase? Came right after him and got him looking on the high strike. So, roller coaster inning for Ilderton. Strikes out the side, though, and it's 0-0 heading to the bottom of the first on this HD Media game. This HD Media production of Winfield Baseball is brought to you by the City of Winfield, helping create a safe atmosphere for students free from bullying. Wheeling University Physical Therapy Program, emphasizing a whole person approach to the investigation of clinical issues. And by Realtor Beth Given, taking your stress away with her experience and determined approach in the business end market.
Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Hurricane is built a little differently than other dealerships on things like a smile and a handshake. That's because Gene and Ryan built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There are no gimmicks or games at Walker, just honest, fair deals, and the huge inventory in both new and pre-owns doesn't hurt either. So when you're ready for your next vehicle, make that short 20-minute drive from Charleston or Huntington to Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Just off the Hurricane exit of I-64, Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, making friends one deal at a time.
So we head to the bottom of the first, no score. Nitro threatening, but not being able to get any runs across after Ilderton strikes out 3 batters. 1 walk and 2 base hits left him stranded, and now we get to see Charlie Hanks on the hill for the Wildcats. And the first 3 batters for Winfield tonight will be Brayson Downey, Ian Cox, and Jared Miller. The catcher, we talked about him in the top of the inning, about how good of a backstop he is, but he's also got a good bat. When your catcher leads off, you know the kid can swing it. And Downey definitely on that list, short list of one of the best catchers in the state. So,
absolutely. I went and I saw him play at St. Albans last year, and he was pretty impressive. I remember sitting in the stands and tapping someone. So who's the kid catching? And it was him. And he was doing a great job and clearly still doing a great job this season.
Hanks on the rubber and ready to go. First pitch fouled back, 0-1. Inside, Downey doesn't even flinch at that one. 1-1. It's almost like he's like, you're going to hit me? That's fine. I'll take my base.
I'll take that.
You know, that's what's tough, Anthony, when it's so cold out. You know, those foul balls off the handle sting a little bit more. Kind of takes some time to get loose.
Yeah, like I said, nobody ordered this weather for mid-April.
1-1. A little bit high. Nitro coaches over there saying, you were giving them that one in the top. And we saw them in between innings, Nitro's third base coach coming over and have a little conversation with the umpire about some of those calls. That one's right down the middle.
Yeah. Maybe even caught the inside of that plate. The ball broke a little bit on the way through, but great pitch.
Counts even to Downey now, 2-2. That one's chopped down third, but foul. We'll do it again. 2-2's high, so we'll go full now.
Ooh.
You know, I've been around here long enough covering baseball like Winfield for 20-plus years. I remember when they were on the cutting edge of technology with those bats that they made that had the wood. Remember that? It was like the metal wood bats.
The metal wood bats, yeah. They didn't stick around long.
Well, full count, pitch is high, so Downey draws with leadoff walk. You know what they say about leadoff walks.
Usually end up in runs, but we'll see what happens here.
Third baseman Ian Cox up now, the junior. Was asked to play third this year and has stepped up and done a great job. Usually the leadoff hitter, batting the 2-hole tonight.
I was about to say, let's see if Downey tests the catcher Snyder's arm here.
Yeah.
Looks like he was anxious to go, but we'll see.
That's another anomaly for a catcher. Guy with wheels can steal bases for you. There he goes. Pitch is high. Catcher comes out of his stance, but the throw is going to be not nearly enough. Downey had a great jump on that one and steals second easily. So the Generals now with a runner in scoring position with no outs. And a 1-0 count on Ian Cox. Hank's now out of the windup. A little bit low, but a strike. And it's 1-1. I like that, though, with in high school especially. You know, you don't want to tighten things up and squeeze these pitchers. Make them swing the bat. Give them a decent strike zone. Swung through that one. 1-2. Slow breaking ball well outside.
Yeah.
Evens the count at 2. Cox with really good plate discipline. He's got a good eye. He's got the highest on-base percentage on the team, so he knows how to get on base. Hanks comes ready. Here's the 2-2. Swung through that one. So no ball's been put in play for an out yet in this game. We got 4 outs and 4 strikeouts.
Now batting the left fielder number 4, Jared Miller.
Jared Miller, the left fielder, now up to the plate. That closed stance. Takes the first pitch outside, 1-0. And there goes Downey. The throw down to third on a bounce, not in time. So 2 stolen bases for Downey, and he's now at third with 1 out.
It's always tough to throw out at third when you got a right-handed batter. Snyder double clutched that. I don't think he would have had it.
Yeah, and another great jump. I wonder if he's picked up something in Hank's delivery. 1-1 is in there. Nice pitch there from Charlie. 1-2. Miller looks in for the sign. Comes set. That one's going to get to the backstop. And in comes Downey with the first run of the game on the wild pitch. It's 1-0 Generals. Count now 2-2 on Miller. The base is clear. That one's fouled off to the right side. We'll do it again. Very few balls have been pulled tonight. Almost everything we've seen has been a little bit late, fouled off to the right, or the 2 base hits to right field from Nitro on the top of the first.
He may settle down. These 2 pitchers have got nice arm action.
Yeah.
So
you got to get used to every different delivery, every different pitcher. That one's again bounced, and it'll be full. So both pitchers throwing a lot of pitches in their first inning. Hanks comes set. Here's the full count pitch, and it's drilled out to right. Drifting back on it is the right fielder, John Clark. Can't get it. And again, that wind is playing havoc with you out there, especially in right field.
It's one of the first things you mentioned coming into this ball game is this wind can cause a little trouble, and on that play, Clark looked like he had some trouble and looked like he had a beat on it, but gave him some trouble there at the end and dropped for, I guess, a single.
Yeah, especially
double.
when it's a gusty wind, because just when you think you're under it, you're not. So they're going to score that a double. And that brings up Owen Taylor, shortstop, batting cleanup tonight. Here's the 1-0. Inside corner, evens the count. What'd you bring, hot chocolate tonight? Is that what you were drinking?
No, I had a gas station coffee at that. It was not was not the best, but it did the job.
Keep you warm, right?
I may head back downstairs and get one here in between innings.
Good concession stand here at Winfield. It's an interesting setup that they have here, where you walk through the concession stand to get to the press box.
I was trying to get a peek at the chili.
They're trying to tempt you. It's almost like, when you go to those hotels at Vegas, you got to walk through the casino to get to your room.
Exactly.
Here's the 1-1 with the runner on the move, and it's fouled straight back. So, again, it looked like Miller had a good jump on that. So that might be something they need to work on with Charlie Hanks on the hill, is making sure that he's keeping those runners honest. We mentioned off the top that Isaacs likes to send his runners. The Winfield will run on you, but you can't let those guys get that big of a jump. And sure enough, now they're playing games back there with the shortstop and second baseman, cat and mouse, and Miller out there.
Trying to keep him honest. They don't want anything short, scoring another run.
Hanks comes set. That one's a little bit low. Just missed the strike zone. 2-2 now to Owen Taylor. Taylor, a slow chopper. This is going to be tough. No, right in between the pitcher and third baseman. But even if that was fielded cleanly, I'm not sure they get him.
Yeah, he broke out of there. He had some wheels on him, so I don't think they're going to get him at first. But
no, they'll call that a base hit. No, we got runners on first and third.
Batting the center fielder number 2, Preston Kiefer.
Center fielder Preston Kiefer stepping in now with another chance to bring home another run for the Gens.
now you've got to see. Now you got an issue for Snyder here.
Right away, there goes the runner, and he got caught on that one. Smart play by Hank, stepping off the rubber, and Taylor got caught in no man's land, thrown out at second.
Well, we knew that's what I was just getting to mention. We'll see if Snyder is ready, because you knew Taylor was going to take off and go. Tricked him though. He acted like he was going to third and turned around, went to second with it.
Yeah, that's always risky. You got to make sure you do that the right way, or they'll call a balk on you. That one was clean, though. Throw back to the pitcher, gets away, but not far enough to give Miller a chance to get too far off third. So we're 1-0 now on Kiefer. Hanks comes set. Catches the outside corner on that sweeping pitch. 1-1. That one's outside, 2-1. Yeah, Winfield loves to run, but sometimes you get a little too aggressive. You can run yourself out of a rally.
Yeah, I think he fooled him with that move to third. Got to be a little bit more hesitant before you take off. Lesson learned.
2-1. That's a little looper into right center, and it's going to be caught. That time Clark was on it from the get-go. Makes the easy grab out in shallow right to end the inning. 1-0 Generals on this HD Media game between Winfield and Nitro. We'll be right back after this.
CJU is a great company to work for. We've been around for 78 years. We are an underground utility construction company all across the East Coast. We are rapidly growing, and we're seeing a huge growth in this market, a huge need for employees. We are always looking for those that are experienced, those that are trying to get their foot in the door. We have positions for everybody. We offer competitive pay. We offer competitive benefits. We take pride in having a family atmosphere at CJU's, and it's truly just a family company.
This HD media production of Winfield Baseball is brought to you by Red Door Properties, your unequivocal go-to resource for all your real estate needs. Masters Law Firm, helping West Virginia personal injury victims since 1974. The Affiliated Construction Trades. If you work for a living, we're working for you. And by the Charleston Gazette Mail, with digital subscriptions starting as low as $9.99 for 3 months.
Are you ready to unlock a future filled with remarkable pay, unbeatable benefits, and unparalleled satisfaction? Imagine embarking on a journey that offers you a college-level education without the weight of debt, all while earning a steady income. Look no further than the West Virginia Building and Construction Trades Apprenticeship Programs. Join us, and together, let's build a future that's brighter and stronger. Go to actwv.org to apply today. The West Virginia Building and Construction Trades, where the future is forged.
All right, we head to the top of the second. It'll be the bottom three of the order for Nitro. John Clark, who made that play out in right field to end the bottom of the first, leads off the top of the second for Nitro. They'll try to get another rally going, left the bases loaded in the first. First pitch fouled back, 0-1.
The kids that collect the baseballs are having a field day today.
Right? I think in high school you got to give those back.
They
right?
still give you a dime for those at the concession stand?
You don't get to keep those. Budgets for high schools aren't enough to be able to afford giving away foul balls.
Yeah, you don't get to keep them like you do at PNC Park.
Clark fooled on that one. It's 0-2. Illerton throws that one low, trying to get him to chase again. Not so much there, 1-2. And Anthony, you have a personal connection to high school baseball with your nephew. You talk a little bit about him and his talent, what he's got going on.
Yeah, he's
as Clark strikes out.
He's based out of the private school in D.C. It's actually called St. Albans. We're keeping an eye on him for the Major League Draft. He's about 6'4", 215, good-looking kid. Obviously, I'm pretty partial to him, but we're excited for him this fall or this spring.
Charlie Hanks stepping in now. Nitro pitcher up to bat now. First pitch called a ball, 1-0. That's cool, though, to have someone in your family that's going through that, just the whole process, and you get to see how it plays out from all different angles.
Yeah, especially in today's, college sports landscape with NIL, and it's interesting to watch his parents kind of leverage and pay attention to signing bonuses and NIL and all that funny stuff. He just wants to play baseball, but it's not like when we were coming through where you're just excited to get a scholarship and play.
Everyone's pulling you in 10 different directions.
Yeah, there's a lot of agents calling and scouts coming to the house. And
here's Illerton's 2-1. Bounce down to the right and foul just out of the reach of the first baseman. So we'll do 2-2 now. The count evens. Yeah, it's and that's coming though. NIL to high school. It's probably already here, not technically, but
well, yeah. You would hope not. I know a lot of people are not big fans of the.
Stays alive on the foul tip. Oh, what are they saying? They hit him?
Catcher's interference.
Oh, he hit the mitt. So maybe Downey got a little too eager and got that mitt out into the strike zone.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel good either.
Catcher's interference, so that'll put Hanks on first and bring Landon Bradford, the second baseman, to the plate.
Yeah, I used to catch growing up, and that is not a fun play when that bat hits your mitt. It scares you for a second.
And, of course, since Hank's the pitcher, they'll put a courtesy runner out on first base for him. You mentioned all those balls getting fouled off. The umpire had to go reload.
Yeah, I figured. I was wondering when he was going to run out.
Illerton out of the windup, or out of the stretch, I should say, comes out. Oh, again, they're calling that high strike tonight.
Yeah, he's
0-1.
He's painting that outside corner. I think he found something there in the first inning. I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps coming to it.
Throw to first.
Make him lay down in that wet turf.
Man, it was one of those days where when you're looking on your phone app and the actual temperature was like 56, 57. You're like, oh, that's actually pretty nice. But then the feels like temperature was like 39 because the wind was so strong.
Yeah, so I live on the Kanawha, and it's always a little bit more chilly here on the river. So that's what we're feeling down here in Winfield tonight. A little extra wind.
Illerton out of the stretch on a 1-1 pitch, low in the dirt. 2-1. This historically was always the pitch to run on 2-1. We'll see if Samuel sends him. Nitro not nearly as aggressive as Winfield is on the base pass, but 2-1 is usually a good pitch to run on if you're going to do it. He's not going anywhere, and that pitch is high and outside, 3-1.
Again, I saw Downey play last year. I'm not so sure you want to go testing his arm. He's
got a hose. Now Bradford, I had 3-1. He can wait on a pitch he likes. That one's fouled off to the right, and we'll go full.
10 cents more for somebody out there. I'm going to go out there and stand for what I'm getting paid to be here tonight.
So what kind of options is your nephew looking at? You always got to take everything with a grain of salt because you'll have some people saying, oh, you're going to go second round, you're going to go, and then it ends up that.
Yeah, the projection thing is a little tough. So he's ranked 85th out of all eligible high school and college players, but you just never know where teams want to take a high school pitcher,
right?
Especially a right-handed kid. So he could slide up or he could slide down, and it'll all depend. And if he decides –
there's a base hit to right. That's going to put runners on first and second as they'll hold the runner up at second base. Blackwell did a nice job coming in on that, making sure that there wasn't anything to go to third on. But Nitro's got something brewing again here in the top of the second. One out, runners on first and second, and then we'll turn it around and go back to the top of the order with Brody Whitman.
They have slapped that ball between that first and second baseman 3 times already.
Yeah, they're wearing out that hole right there. Slow breaking ball doesn't break enough. It stays up and out. 1-0. Fastball fell straight back.
Kind of getting back to Miles there, I was telling you, what happens is, you have to wait and see where you're drafted.
Right.
And then you have to decide whether you want to go to college. He's committed to the University of Alabama. He wants to pitch in the SEC, but he'll have to make a decision.
Time called, so no pitch there. Yeah, and that's always the challenge because you're trying to time it. You're trying to maximize when you should come out. There's no guarantee either way.
Yeah, I just let him and his parents decide on that, and I'm just praying for some health.
There you go.
He's fun to watch.
Grounder to first. They get him at second. Back to first, safe. So they get the out at second, safe at first. Now 2 outs with runners on the corners. Almost a double play to get him out of the inning. A nice play there by the first baseman, Blake Withrow. He had his options. He could have tried to go to first and then make the play at second. But that's always tricky because then obviously it takes the force off. But.
And that's obviously the longest double play, going from first to second back to first. But it was a great play. It was close at first.
A strike to Wyatt Thomas. 0-1 pitch fouled off to the right, 0-2. So now, again, Ilderton just one pitch away from getting out of jam. Downey throws down the signs, and Ilderton from the windup, or from the stretch, I should say. And he got him swinging, but the ball gets away. They're going to have to make the play at first, which they do, and the Generals get out of it again. So Ilderton does a nice job working out of trouble for the second inning in a row. It's 1-0 Generals as we head to the bottom of the second.
Glenville State University offers cutting-edge programs, small class sizes, and dedicated faculty providing students with a personalized experience focused on their success. With the lowest tuition in the Mountain State, every student has the opportunity to achieve their goals. At Glenville State University, you'll find a community that supports, challenges, and inspires you every step of the way. From hands-on learning in state-of-the-art facilities to internships that connect you with real-world opportunities, we prepare you for the challenges and triumphs of tomorrow. Pioneer your future at Glenville State University.
For more than 170 years, Burke & Herbert Bank continues to deliver service beyond expectations to our customers. With an expanded footprint from the mountains of West Virginia to the Eastern Shore and beyond, we're here for you. As a full-service community bank offering the latest digital tools and guidance, we take the time to understand your unique needs, helping you move your family, your business, and your dreams forward together. Burke & Herbert Bank.
Number 9.
Heading now to the bottom of the second.
Nitro.
And Blake Withrow will step in for the Generals, try to get things going again for the green and white. Had some runners on in the first inning, but that caught stealing kind of killed the rally a little bit. The left-handed hitting first baseman will step in as Charlie Hanks gets ready. Well outside, 1-0. Withrow also a good pitcher. A lot of people would consider him the ace of the Winfield team, but tough to find a better first baseman as well. One of those kids that can do more than one thing well. That one's high. Here's the 2-0. Up and out. Now 3-0. Looks like Hanks is trying to nibble. Wants no part of throwing one down the middle of this kid. We'll see if Withrow's got the green light on this 3-0 pitch. Taken all the way, and he walks on 4 pitches, so the Winfield Generals get the leadoff runner on again with a walk, and we'll see if they're putting them in motion once again. They don't shy away from running, these kids.
No, they like to steal bases, so we'll see what happens here.
Designated hitter number 8, Jake Kimball.
Here's your DH, Jake Kimball. Right-handed hitter. Withrow gets a big lead. Hanks caught on. Hanks steps off the rubber. Withrow back to first. It's been an eventful inning and a half so far. A lot of base runners, but still just 1-0. The delivery and the pitch is high. It's 1-0 to Kimball.
You can tell those early stolen bases are in Hanks's. He's thinking about it a little bit. He's worried about the base runners and looking over.
Yep. That one's inside for a strike. Right over that corner there. Evens the count at 1. Kimball, another one of those guys that we'll also see on the mound throughout the year. Could play some first base as well. Nothing doing on that throw over to first. 0 runs, 3 hits, 0 errors so far for Nitro. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors for Winfield. One pitch is low, and there's a delayed steal, and no one was covering. So there you go, heads-up play there by Withrow. Had a healthy lead, didn't run, then saw that no one was really covering, and on the throw back, that was one of those weird plays where the catcher already had the ball. The delayed steal, the catcher had to kind of like double clutch it and decide to go to second instead of throwing it back to the pitcher, and by the time the ball got there, Withrow was in with a stolen base.
Dangerous throw as well because you just got to hope that somebody gets over to cover the bag. Uh-oh, he balked.
Now a balk is called.
Again, those stolen bases, he's thinking about it.
Yep, you know, getting the pitcher's head.
Yeah, they got him early, so he's worried about these base runners. Not concentrating on what he needs to do on the mound.
So now General's in business with the runner on third and no outs. Kimball fouls that one back. We'll stay 2-2. Now, I don't think Will Isaacs would be frisky enough to steal home, but especially with him in the sight of the pitcher. We'll see what happens here. It's inside. Good eye there. That one was close, but Kimball taking it. It's now full, 3-2. Hanks comes set. Well outside, and that's going to put runners on the corners now. And that'll bring Brody Belcher to the plate, the second baseman.
Again, we got runners on first and third with a team that likes to run a little bit, so I'll be curious to see how Hanks handles this.
Yeah,
earlier he was able to fake that move to third, and he got Taylor going to second, but he's been struggling a little bit with these base runners.
Yeah, 3 walks already, and that'll get you in trouble. That gets your pitch count up, and obviously with runners on, you can always get dicey. There's a strike right down the middle. We'll start 0-1 now on Belcher. Throw to third. Not in time. That was similar to the play that they actually, in the last inning, got a caught stealing off of that when Owen Taylor got a little frisky off first base. 0-1 is in there. 0-2, and there's another delayed steal and a fake throw to second. Kimball just kind of walks into second base. So now runners on second and third. 2 runners in scoring position with an 0-2 count on Belcher. Little nubber, and they got him caught in a rundown. Smart play by the pitcher. And now they're going to see if they can hold it up long enough to get Belcher to second, and they will. So we're right where we were before the pitch, with runners at second and third. Good high IQ play by Nitro on that comebacker to the pitcher. He saw that the runner was running on contact, got him in that rundown, and then a good play as well by Withrow. Once you're caught in that rundown, your job is to stay
alive
in the pickle so you can get that guy back to second. So here we go now. Runners on second and third for Austin Blackwell, the right fielder. They'll turn it over to the top of the order after this. Here's the 1-0 to Blackwell. That one's laced to right, but foul. Even the count at 1. Squares to bunt, but it's low. Looked like they might have had like a safety squeeze on that. That wasn't a suicide squeeze, but just getting a big lead off of third. Kimball making sure that the ball would get down, and then you run on contact.
And of course, they might just be giving them something else to think about. These runners and squeezes and
the throw to third gets away, and that's going to bring Kimball home. And they're going to bring both runners now as rounding third and coming home. Play at the plate, and he is out.
Ooh.
Nice play there and a great throw home. And they got Belcher at the plate.
I couldn't tell if that. I think that was Whitman that made that play from over there in the corner. And again, we keep talking about these stolen bases and fake bunts. When you start throwing the ball around the park, that's when errors are caused. So an error there scores a run, but they were able to get the guy on second coming home.
Strike to even the count of 2. And again, aggressive base running. We saw it in the other inning where they got caught at second, and then a runner caught it home there on that. So it's that balance that you try to strike. It's good to be aggressive to keep the other team on their toes, but sometimes if you run yourself out of innings, that can come back to haunt you later.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're full now, 3-2, 2 outs in the bottom of the second. And that's low. The 4th walk of the game for Hanks will put Blackwell on first, and here comes Downey. See if they can get a 2-out rally going.
Now batting the catcher.
Yeah, that was the out that you wanted right there. You didn't want to bring the top of the order back up with a runner on first.
Downey again, aggressive lead. You're seeing more fields like this in West Virginia, the turf field. It's much more weather resistant. But also you got to get used to it because the hops aren't the same as what you're used to on dirt. That's right up the middle, bounced high to the second baseman. We'll just step on the bag, and that'll do it for the bottom of the second. Winfield gets 1 run on no hits, but that throwing error bringing home that runner from third, and we'll go to the top of the third, 2-0 Generals.
I'm Chris Miller, and I'm proud to sponsor productions like this one that showcase the best of this great state. School pride runs deep here. Friday night lights, crowded gyms, packed auditoriums. It's what makes this such a great place to live and work. So be true to your school. And at Dutch Miller Auto, we're there with you. Because when we build on our young people, everybody wins. I'm proud to lead the way as we bring out the best in West Virginia. I'm Chris Miller, and enjoy the game.
The West Virginia Adult Education Center has free resources to help you get your GED, learn new job skills, earn workplace certifications, and learn English as a second language. No matter where you're starting from, we're here to help. With locations all across the state, changing your life has never been easier. Learn, train, succeed, and earn more money today by visiting our website at freegedwv.com. This HD media production of Winfield Baseball is brought to you by the City of Winfield, helping create a safe atmosphere for students free from bullying. Wheeling University Physical Therapy Program, emphasizing a whole person approach to the investigation of clinical issues. And by Realtor Beth Given, taking your stress away with her experience and determined approach in the business end market. So Winfield putting up a picket fence on that scoreboard. 1 run in the first, 1 run in the second. Will Isaacs will tell you could have been more. They had a couple runners caught on the base pass, but they still lead 2-0 as Ilderton's done a good job of getting out of jams in the first 2 innings. Leading off for Nitro in the third will be Noah Ross. He's 0 for 1, caught looking in the first. Right back up the middle, off the mitt and into center field. Ilderton almost got that glove down on that one, but just ricocheted off it. Found the hole up the middle, so a leadoff single here in the third for Ross. And that'll bring up DH Sam Smith.
Now batting number 6, Sam Smith.
Smith with a base hit in the first. Went the opposite way into right field. He's 1 for 1. Swinging on the first pitch, fouls it back. Nitro dugout. You can hear those boys. They're chatting it up in there, trying to get their Wildcats going.
Well, they're not, considering they're only down 2 runs. And
oh, sure.
High school ball with these aluminum bats.
And they've been making Illerton work. Here's the 0-1, and there goes Ross. Strike, but no play at second, so stolen base for Ross. 0-2 count now to Smith.
And Nitro looking like they're going to try to get a little bit more aggressive on the base paths. Winfield's been putting them under the pressure, so returning the favor here.
Nitro's been getting hits. They've got 4 hits on the night, double that of Winfield. They just can't get anything across yet. But that is going to be sent to right field. I don't know if it's deep enough. Here's the tag at second and running to third. It looked like he left maybe a little early. In fact, Winfield's going to check on that, and they're going to say he was out. He left a little early. Yep. From the play, my naked eye, it looked like he did, and the umpire says, yes, he was leaving early, so that's a force out at second.
Of course, I'm looking out in right field, just making sure that wind isn't going to come into play, so I missed it. But obviously he left really early because he went straight to the bag.
Yeah, it wasn't egregious, but it was early enough where it was noticeable, and Winfield did a good job of figuring that out. So now the base is empty with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Jake Snyder, the catcher. He's 0 for 1, struck out in the first.
The thing about a play like that in a tight game is that's a run that you could use right now.
Well, both teams have made some errors on the base pass tonight, and that one's laced into the gap. Will it get through? No. Good job by the center fielder to cut it off and to hold Snyder to a single. That was well read by Kiefer, who got over there quickly to make sure that didn't cause any more trouble than it needed to. But we'll have a runner on now, and like you said, if he just stayed at second, that might have plated him. 5th hit of the game for the Wildcats, but still no runs to show for it. And now a runner on third and 2 outs for Leighton Mari, the shortstop. He's 0 for 1, struck out in the first. That one's chopped foul down the third base line, 0-1. Jones is the courtesy runner at first base now for the catcher. It's on the outside corner, 0-2. So Ilderson again trying to work out of a little bit of a jam in the third. He's had runners on the bases in all 3 innings. Done a good job so far of getting out of it. Comes set from the stretch, 0-2. Chopped weakly down the third base line and foul, so we'll do it again. Fullerton gets the sign, working quickly tonight. From the stretch, sweeping curve, got him looking. Boy, that was the 12-6er right there. That one broke well right into the top of the strike zone. Marie strikes out for the second time tonight, and for the 3rd inning in a row, Ilderton gets out of it. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, 2-0 Generals.
Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Hurricane is built a little differently than other dealerships on things like a smile and a handshake. That's because Gene and Ryan built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There are no gimmicks or games at Walker, just honest, fair deals, and the huge inventory in both new and pre-owned doesn't hurt either. So when you're ready for your next vehicle, make that short 20-minute drive from Charleston or Huntington to Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Just off the Hurricane exit of I-64, Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, making friends one deal at a time.
CJU is a great company to work for. We've been around for 78 years. We are an underground utility construction company all across the East Coast. We are rapidly growing, and we're seeing a huge growth in this market, a huge need for employees. We are always looking for those that are experienced, those that are trying to get their foot in the door. We have positions for everybody. We offer competitive pay. We offer competitive benefits. We take pride in having a family atmosphere at CJU's, and it's truly just a family company.
So we head to the bottom of the third, 2-0 Winfield. The Generals putting up runs in both the first and second inning. Nitro's had a lot of base runners, 5 hits on the night, but Ilderton with 5 strikeouts and some timely strikeouts to work out of jams in each of the first 3 innings. And Anthony, in 2 of the 3 innings, the innings ended with the Nitro coaches having conversations with the home plate umpire about some of those balls and strikes. Nothing heated, maybe just wanting an understanding of exactly what kind of zone we're working with tonight.
Well, I mean, we're standing right here behind the plate. These pitchers are hitting the corners, and he's giving it to them both ways.
He's been consistent.
But you can never work an official too much, I guess.
First pitch is low. No doubt what that one was. That's a ball all the way. It's 1-0 now. This is Ian Cox, by the way. He's 0 for 1 on the night. Struck out in the first. Now fouls that one back to even the count at 1. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Nice breaking ball there.
Yeah, Hanks has some decent stuff. He's just been a little bit wild tonight. Those 4 walks, 5 walks, excuse me, 4 walks have really come back to haunt him. You walk 4 batters in 2 innings, you're probably asking for trouble. That one's laced to center, but now dying. Oh, it was one of those. Oh, and it was dropped out there by Ross, but now they have a play at second, and he's safe. So that was a play that was all over the place. It looked like he made good contact, but it got hung up in that wind, knocked it down. And trouble out there for the center fielder, Noah Ross. You can see Ross out there putting his hand up like it was there, and then it wasn't.
Well, clearly they've talked to him about this wind, and you just got to run. In little fly balls like that, you don't know what's going to happen, and base runner did the right thing and just kept running. So good heads-up ball play.
Waiting on a ruling on that. I don't know what they're going to call that one. They're going to call it an error on the center fielder. E8.
And again, Hanks is worried about these base runners out there, and that's where it starts to create some problems. You start worrying about these base runners and not throwing strikes. And
Miller taken there. Evens the count at 1. Jared Miller with a double in the first. 1 for 1. And the throw gets into center field. Cox taking off, and he'll run into third, standing up. There we see it again.
Yeah, he needs to just focus on throwing strikes and let his catcher work with him, let his defense work. He is worried a lot about these base runners this evening.
Yeah, keep the action in front of you. Worry about what's in front of you, not what's going on behind you. 1-1 is swung on and missed.
But in the game of baseball, that's the beauty of putting pressure on the catcher and the pitcher with these aggressive base runners. So it's part of the game, but he needs to focus on throwing strikes.
Hanks comes set. 1-2 is grounded third. Cox was running on contact, and he will score as the throw brings the first baseman off the plate, but he does a nice job of getting that tag down. So an RBI ground out for Miller. Plates Cox, and it's 3-0 Generals.
Number 6, Owen Taylor.
Great play by the first baseman. Coming back to get that tag, I had to come and circle back around this pole here and make sure he got him because it was pretty close, but great play by the first baseman there.
Owen Taylor steps in now, takes high and out, 1-0. That one gets all the way to the backstop, 2-0. And Anthony, we've seen the good and the bad of base running tonight.
Yeah. Winfield, they came into this thing being aggressive, and it's paid off for them here. I think throwing errors and aggressive base running has led to all 3 runs they've got on the board so far.
And that's why you see a line like that, 3 runs on just 2 hits. Low and outside. We're 3-0 now. We'll see if Taylor's taken all the way on this. And that one bounces in, so that's a 4-pitch walk, the 5th walk of the night for Hanks. And another base runner for the Generals as Preston Kiefer will come up with Taylor on first.
Now batting your center fielder number 2, Preston Kiefer.
Taylor taking a big lead, almost both feet on the turf.
Again, with one out,
off the mound.
With one out, they're going to probably continue to try to run, and Hanks is concerned. So, see what if they send Taylor here. He's got a nice lead.
He's going, swing and a miss. Good throw by the catcher, but bounces. That bounce is what did him in. It was on line, but the bounce kind of took one of those slow bounces, and that gave Taylor time, Taylor time to get in there. Stolen base for Owen Taylor. Now runner in scoring position for Kiefer. 0-1 catches the outside corner. Swung, but it's in the dirt, so they're going to have to go to first, and they'll get him there on the wild pitch. Taylor moves over to third. So strikeout for Hanks for the second out of the inning. Now a runner 90 feet away for Blake Withrow. First team All-Stater last year as a sophomore. And that is launched to right field. Will it stay fair? It is not. Foul ball. Just a long strike. But he had a beat on that one.
That Ken Griffey Jr. up there, the way he got around on that thing. Sent that thing deep to right field.
That's a 330-foot strike. Oh, 1 high and outside, 2-0.
Good pitch selection, though.
1-1. Yeah.
Change it up on him a little bit. He's still feeling it after sending it so deep, so it's a good pitch selection. Just barely missed.
See if he'll chase it outside. Here's the 1-1. Back inside now, catching the corner. So he's nibbling on those corners now. Mm-hmm. It's 1-2. Hanks comes set. Checks out Taylor at third. Comes to the plate. Well inside on that. Evens the count at 2. 2-2 gets to the backstop. Taylor thought about it and then goes back. Took a hard bounce off the brick there behind home plate, and Taylor saw that was not going to be an easy play to score on. So put the brakes on and headed back to third base. We got a full count now with 2 outs. Outside, and that's a walk, so we'll have runners on the corners now with 2 outs. Setting up Jake Kimball. Six walks for Hank. They got him caught now. They're trying to, again, we talk about aggressiveness. They got the run home, and now a flub on the pickle, and, well, we saw a lot on that play.
Yeah, so they got real aggressive. He was going to second, which gave Taylor long enough to get home. and then they couldn't get him going back to first. So instead of getting out of the inning, you've got a runner on first with 2 outs.
Now 4-0 Winfield. Base running, base running, base running. Low, 1-0. That's something that's tough to prepare for. Is playing against a team that's hyper aggressive on the base paths.
Well, it's just something else to think about from the catcher's perspective, from the pitcher's perspective. You can't really focus in on what you're supposed to be doing because you're worried about the base runners.
Withrow with the lead off first. Pitch is high. Even it up at 1. Kimball with a walk and a run scored in the second. Withrow back in, under the throw. Seems like the wind is calming down a little bit as the sun sets.
Well, the temperature's dropping. That's for sure.
3-0 now to Kimball. Taking all the way, and that's a strike down the middle. So now our attention will go back to Withrow on the base pass and see if they run him on 3-1. Decent count for a hit and run. There he goes, and there's the hit and run.
Perfectly executed.
Perfectly executed. Brought the shortstop out of that hole. That would have been right to him, but instead he was covered in second. It gets through, and now we got runners on first and third with 2 outs.
Yeah, the aggressiveness from Winfield is the difference maker so far tonight.
That might do it for Hanks. Will Samuel makes the slow stroll out to the mound.
You know, kind of taking a glance up here at this AA state champions sign, and I guess with the new classifications,
AAA now, I think.
Yeah, they've moved them up to AAA. So Winfield will start to see some new faces here at General Park. I think that'll maybe even regionalize the baseball a little bit. They'll see St. Albans, South Charleston, Nitro.
Well, they played Huntington last Friday.
Yeah, so they'll see more of those, which is for me is a good thing. You know, St. Albans is 10 miles up the road. Nitro's 10 miles up the road. You got South Charleston, Capital. I like a little regional baseball. Teams from Winfield shouldn't be traveling to Point Pleasant and all over the place to play baseball.
So that'll do it for Hanks. 2 2/3 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, 6 walks, 3 hits, 4 runs given up. And again, the base running, the aggressive base running by the Generals kind of causing some fits for the Nitro Wildcats out there.
You know, he threw a good ball game. You know, he gave up some walks, but again, the aggressive base running, which Winfield put into motion early, has been the difference maker in this game so far.
So it looks like they've moved DH Sam Smith to the hill. So Smith will be the new pitcher. Have to wait and see how that shakes out in the lineup, who they've got now at DH, or if they'll just let Smith hit as the pitcher.
So tonight it's Winfield Nitro. How many games left we have with the Generals? I know our baseball schedule is winding down. We've got 2 or 3 more games down here, then back to South Charleston. And, of course, I think we have a nice slate of GW games still. So for those of you watching online, don't forget you can always download the HD Media app to your television, your smart TV, or you can watch online on your tablets or phones. But if you're watching on social media, you can always just sit back in your chair and watch it in the living room if you'd like.
Yeah, and we're hoping to expand this coverage as we move forward. So 20 baseball games this year, maybe even more next year. And, we do have a couple more South Charleston games. They are really dependent on the weather. Their field does not hold water very well, so we had a couple games that got pushed back. So we have some late SC games. There's actually a May game now as a makeup game for South Charleston. And they still haven't announced a makeup date for the game that got rained out against GW a couple weeks ago. So we're in constant communication with the AD, Kyle Root, down there at South Charleston to see when and if they're going to make up that game.
Our producer, Ethan, loves rain games.
So Brody Belcher now stepping to the plate with runners on the corners and 2 outs. 4-0 Winfield here in the bottom of the third. Throw over to third, nothing doing. Belcher, just a freshman, moved here from Logan. Known for his good glove, but he's been getting some good swings in lately as well. Oh, and we mentioned the base running. There you go, on a pitch high and tight. They're running, and now we got runners on second and third. 2 runners in scoring position for Brody Belcher. Swung through that one, evens the count at 1. Belcher grounded out on that little nubber to the back to the pitcher in the second. Sweeping breaking ball falls in for a strike, 1-2. That one's high to even the count of 2. Maybe changed up the catcher there a little bit. He's like, okay, let's make sure we got our signs right.
Yeah.
You don't want to cross up your catcher when he thinks a curveball's coming and you throw him heat. That's not what you want.
That's recipe for disaster, and you don't want it the other way either because you got a runner on third. Not a good time for miscommunication.
All of the pitchers tonight have been working quickly, though. That's nice. No pitch clock necessary. Here's the 2-2. Low, and that bounces away, but not far enough to do any damage. So both runners back to second and third. And we'll do it with a full count. Three-two's high, and that's going to load them up. So another walk for the Generals. And Austin Blackwell will come up with the bases juiced.
Now batting the right fielder, number 7, Austin Blackwell.
Blackwell, no official at bat yet tonight. He walked in the last inning. Throw over to third, drop, but no damage done. Again, 7 walks for Winfield so far. That's how you get base runners. That's how you get runs.
Yeah, he needs to focus on just, again, worried about the base runners, throwing over to third. He cannot let this thing bust open on him. He needs to focus on getting an out here.
It's high, 1-0. And at this point, if you're Winfield and you see how wild these pitchers have been, you just sit back and wait for something that you can hammer.
Mm-hmm.
That one at the knees for a strike. Evens the count at 1. And the bad news for Will Isaacs with bases loaded, you can't really run.
Well,
there's no place to go. That one's laced into the hole.
We'll
see if it holds up. It does. Again, any fly ball, the wind's kind of knocking it down a little bit. It's holding it up, and nothing's really on a rope out there. Nice play by the right fielder. To end the inning, we'll go to the top of the 4th, 4-0 Generals. This HD media production of Winfield Baseball is brought to you by Red Door Properties, your unequivocal go-to resource for all your real estate needs. The Masters Law Firm, helping West Virginia personal injury victims since 1974. The Affiliated Construction Trades. If you work for a living, we're working for you. And by the Charleston Gazette Mail, with digital subscriptions starting as low as $9.99 for 3 months.
Are you ready to unlock a future filled with remarkable pay, unbeatable benefits, and unparalleled satisfaction? Imagine embarking on a journey that offers you a college-level education without the weight of debt, all while earning a steady income. Look no further than the West Virginia Building and Construction Trades Apprenticeship Programs. Join us, and together, let's build a future that's brighter and stronger. Go to actwv.org to apply today. The West Virginia Building and Construction Trades, where the future is forged.
Glenville State University offers cutting-edge programs, small class sizes, and dedicated faculty providing students with a personalized experience focused on their success. With the lowest tuition in the Mountain State, every student has the opportunity to achieve their goals. At Glenville State University, you'll find a community that supports, challenges, and inspires you every step of the way. From hands-on learning in state-of-the-art facilities to internships that connect you with real-world opportunities, we prepare you for the challenges and triumphs of tomorrow. Pioneer your future at Glenville State University.
Jonathan Clark will lead off the fourth for the Nitro Wildcats. Brody Ilderton still on the mound. He's pitched a decent game so far through 3 innings, 6 strikeouts, just 1 walk, and that's important. We've seen how walks have gotten Nitro in trouble. So far tonight, Ilderton's been pretty good with keeping those free runners off the base paths. Starts Clark off with a strike. It's 0-1. Nice little slow breaking ball. Got him chasing. It's 0-2 out in front of Clark now. Ilderton again working quickly from the windup. Ooh.
Nice breaking ball.
Downey wanted that one. He was ready to fire that one down to first.
Nice breaking ball.
Umpire didn't pull the string. It's 1-2. That one does catch the outside corner. Down goes Clark.
That's been his go-to strikeout pitch. He's got a few on that one, and again,
his 7th strikeout of the game. Caught looking for Clark. He struck out twice already tonight. Now bring up Hanks, who's no longer pitching but still batting. That's grounded into the hole, and that's going to be a tough play. Nice play by the shortstop, but unable. I don't think they had him anyway. I think he was going to beat that throw. But fantastic job of getting to that ball by Owen Taylor to make that play on that and make it close, but they're going to. That's a base hit all the way for Hanks. I don't think that throw had him.
Pretty deep ball into the hole, but great effort from Taylor getting over there. He covers a lot of ground over there. If he would have got him out, we would have had to send that one into Sports Center.
That's a highlight, yeah. Landon Bradford down the second baseman up. And that's the same place. And that time, Taylor was shaded a little more towards second, had no play on that one. So Nitro getting something going now with 1 out. They got runners on first and second, trying to get a big inning cooking here.
Caught him leaning towards the bag, just a hair, probably having to go and be in position to cover in case there was a situation at the bag. But
Will's out there to talk to his pitcher now, and we'll see if that's it for Ilderton. They are going to make a change, and we'll take a quick break here on HD Media. We'll come back with more right after this.
For more than 170 years, Burke & Herbert Bank continues to deliver service beyond expectations to our customers. With an expanded footprint from the mountains of West Virginia to the Eastern Shore and beyond, we're here for you. As a full-service community bank offering the latest digital tools and guidance, we take the time to understand your unique needs, helping you move your family, your business, and your dreams forward together. Burke & Herbert Bank.
This HD Media production of Winfield Baseball is brought to you by Red Door Properties, your unequivocal go-to resource for all your real estate needs. The Masters Law Firm, helping West Virginia personal injury victims since 1974. The Affiliated Construction Trades. If you work for a living, we're working for you. And by the Charleston Gazette-Mail, with digital subscriptions starting as low as $9.99 for 3 months. So Brody Cox is the new pitcher on the hill for the Generals. The final line for Brody Ilderton. 3 1/3 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, 7 hits. Of course, no runs given up yet, but he is responsible for the runners on first and second as Nitro tries to make things a little tighter here in their half of the fourth. Up to the plate now is the top of the order, Brody Whitman. 1 for 2 on the night. Single to right in the first, grounded out in the second. First pitch in for a strike, 0-1. Whoa, just a bit high, although it took a great bounce. And just like that, that's how you draw it up.
Yeah.
With a great throw from Downey, and he's out at third.
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting that. Thing came right back off the wall.
Yeah, that got away from Cox, but was so far outside and so high that it took a big carom off the backstop right back to Downey, throws him out at third. Runner from first did advance to second, but now 2 outs and a 1-1 count to Whitman. And that hit him. That hit him on the knee, and that's going to hurt, but it'll take first base on the hit by pitch. So runners on first and second again now, and that'll bring up Wyatt Thomas, the third baseman. 0 for 1. He walked in the first, struck out in the second. High again. Looks like he's trying to throw some high to low curveball, and he's just getting away from him.
Yeah, he's releasing it just a touch high.
That one is golfed right behind the second baseman, and nice play moving over to make the play. It's Brody Belcher, and that'll get him out of the inning. So once again, Nitro threatens but doesn't get anything across. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. From General Stadium, 4-0 Winfield. This HD media production of Winfield Baseball is brought to you by the City of Winfield, helping create a safe atmosphere for students free from bullying. Wheeling University Physical Therapy Program, emphasizing a whole-person approach to the investigation of clinical issues. And by Realtor Beth Given, taking your stress away with her experience and determined approach in the business end market.
Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Hurricane is built a little differently than other dealerships on things like a smile and a handshake. That's because Gene and Ryan built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There are no gimmicks or games at Walker, just honest, fair deals, and the huge inventory in both new and pre-owned doesn't hurt either. So when you're ready for your next vehicle, make that short 20-minute drive from Charleston or Huntington to Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Just off the Hurricane exit of I-64, Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, making friends one deal at a time.
CJ is a great company to work for. We've been around for 78 years. We are an underground utility construction company all across the East Coast. We are rapidly growing, and we're seeing a huge growth in this market, a huge need for employees. We are always looking for those that are experienced, those that
Back here for the bottom of the fourth. Smith still on the hill for Nitro. Downey back up to bat for Winfield. He's 0 for 1 on the night. Walked in the first, grounded out to second, unassisted in the second. And that one's stroked into right field for a nice solid single. Downey rounds first. Watch the throw come back into the infield. Downey down 1-for-2.
Nice piece of hitting. Stayed back on that breaking ball and just unleashed it right out into center field.
That's what you're taught, right? Just hit it right back up the middle.
Yeah, stay back.
And here's Ian Cox. Ian 0-for-2, struck out in the first, reached on an error in the third. Again, first pitch swinging. That's a fly ball to center. Back on it and making the play is Noah Ross. And now they've got Downey caught up between first and second. And they got him. So again, we've said it all night. Aggressive on the base pass, but sometimes you can run yourself out of things.
It's about the third time tonight we've seen that from Winfield. I mean, now granted, they're up because of the aggressive base running, but
they probably cost themselves a couple runs,
too. Easily 2 or 3 at this point. But don't know what he saw there that made him thought to go to second. But
there's Jared Miller, first pitch strike. He's 1-for-2, doubled in the first, grounded out to short in the third. That's going to hit him. Got him right square in the back.
Nothing like a ball right to the square of the back on a cold night.
Yeah. And shout out to the Winfield contingent up here in the press box. As soon as he got plunked in the back, you hear, hit me with your best shot from Pat Benatar. They know what they're doing up here.
Yeah, this is quite the operation with the music. I've been pretty impressed.
Swing by Taylor there, fouling it off to the right side. 0-1. One of those kids that just flashes on defense. We saw that play that he almost made the other inning, at the top of the inning when he went deep in the hole. That's almost a major league arm to be able to turn on a dime like that and make that play close. Smith comes home with the throw. Nope. 1-1. Miller was out there dancing at first base, taking big leads. Like you said, almost trying to get in the head of these Nitro pitchers.
Make them think about it.
That's going to be a high strike, 1-2. Both pitchers have been getting those calls tonight on those strikes that are a little bit above the waist, chest high. Smith comes set. There goes Miller, and it's grounded back to the pitcher. Smith bobbles it, but gathers and throws to first. And they got him. So that's going to do it for Winfield. For the first time in this game, they don't get a run across, and we'll go to the top of the fifth. 4-0 Generals. This HD media production of Winfield Baseball is brought to you by Red Door Properties, your unequivocal go-to resource for all your real estate needs. Masters Law Firm, helping West Virginia personal injury victims since 1974. The Affiliated Construction Trades. If you work for a living, we're working for you. And by the Charleston Gazette Mail, with digital subscriptions starting as low as $9.99 for 3 months.
Glenville State University offers cutting-edge programs, small class sizes, and dedicated faculty providing students with a personalized experience focused on their success. With the lowest tuition in the Mountain State, every student has the opportunity to achieve their goals. At Glenville State University, you'll find a community that supports, challenges, and inspires you every step of the way. From hands-on learning in state-of-the-art facilities to internships that connect you with real-world opportunities, we prepare you for the challenges and triumphs of tomorrow. Pioneer your future at Glenville State University.
Number 24. Noah Ross.
Top of the fifth here from Generals Stadium. 0-7-1 for Nitro. 4-4-0 for Winfield. Brody Cox still on the mound for the Generals as we begin this top half of the inning. And Noah Ross will step in, the center fielder, leading off this inning for Nitro. First pitch high, 1-0. Again, you can catch all of our streaming sports by downloading the HD Media Plus app on your smartphone or TV. Just search HD Media at your app store. It's free. Bring all the action to you whenever you want it at the touch of your fingers. 2-0 now, count. We'll go 3-0. The Nitro trying to generate something. They've had runners on in every inning, just unable to get that clutch base hit when they need it. Ross taking all the way, and that's a strike, 3-1. And that can be deflating when you've had multiple runners on through 4 innings now, three plus, and you still can't generate anything across the home plate.
Especially when you've punched in 7 hits on the night.
Mm-hmm. Count now full. Cox working quickly. Ross hits it out to right, and that ball carrying. The wind got a hold of that one, but nice play there by Blackwell to stay on it. Finally caught up with it, makes the play. So it goes down as a long out for Noah Ross.
Great play by the right fielder. He didn't panic. He just kept tracking it, and it kept carrying, but he never panicked.
And we've seen the wind really knock some balls around out there tonight, but that was a great play by Blackwell. And now bring up Smith, who's now pitching for Nitro. Began the game as the DH. He takes inside for ball 1. That one's fouled off to the right side. Evens the count at 1. Again, both these teams coming off a loss. Winfield losing on Friday to Huntington. Nitro Wildcats got beat by Sissonville the last time they played 6 days ago. That one's low, bounces in for a ball, 2-1.
I think teams all across West Virginia are waiting for the weather to break.
Yeah, that's what's tough about playing baseball in West Virginia. You never know what you're going to get. That one's smoked into left field. Solid single for Smith. And Nitro will again begin an inning with a runner on first base. Or actually, sorry, there was 1 out. I forgot that Smith was the second hitter of the inning. Noah Ross with that fly out to right. So 1 out. Smith now on. And Jake Snyder, the catcher, at the plate. He's 1 for 2. Struck out in the first. Single to center in the third.
Courtesy runner number 7, Smith.
Smith once again a courtesy runner at first base. Strike 1. And yeah, that's, we're mentioning the weather in West Virginia. It's different than when you're playing down in Florida or out on the West Coast. They're playing baseball year round. They don't really have to worry about much. You're playing in Arizona. There's no rainouts. You can go 5 months without a drop of rain.
Yeah, the crazy thing too. Here we're looking at a pretty chilly evening, but then come state tournament time, it'll be 98 degrees. It gets kind of brutal up there at Gomar Park, but I think everybody seems to be accustomed. Everybody here with their blankets and oggins and gloves.
Yeah. If you don't like the weather in West Virginia, just wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
The 1-2 was low, even the count at 2. That one's on a line drive to center, but right at the center fielder. No trouble for Kiefer. And that's the second out of the inning.
Now batting number 2,
Leighton Maury coming up now. He's 0 for 2. He struck out both times he's been at the plate tonight. 1-0 is high, 2-0. Brody Cox trying to get out of this inning relatively quickly. Nitro's had at least 2 runners on in every inning so far tonight. Here in the 5th, just 1 so far. Inside and high. And it's 3-0. Assuming that he's taking all the way, you need base runners down 4-0 in the 5th. That's outside, so a 4-pitch walk, and Nitro once again with multiple base runners on in the inning, and we'll see if they got something brewing here. I'll bring up right fielder John Clark.
Yeah, Nitro's not out of this. It's only four runs.
Yeah.
With the swing of the bat.
But you still got to be patient, right? You can't hit a 5-run homer. But you need base runners and rallies. My coach used to always love runners on 1st and 3rd. He'd call that, let's just keep the machine going. 1st and 3rd, 1st and 3rd, 1st and 3rd. First pitch catches the corner, 0-1. Clark 0 for 2 tonight with 2 strikeouts. That one bounces in and will even the count at 1. So we'll see if that walk to Mari comes back to hurt Winfield. They've done a good job so far of not giving them the free passes. Again, you were mentioning, Anthony, 8 hits on the night, but only 2 walks. That one's fouled off to the right side, so it's now 1-2. That might be trouble because the way they had him shaded, and that's a fair ball. So that's going to get down and score at least 1. They'll hold the runners up at 2nd and 3rd. So Smith scores on the double to right.
Now batting number 8.
Clark. 4-1 now. Runners on 2nd and 3rd, and here comes Hanks to the plate.
It's just a matter of time for Nitro got something across the plate because they've been hitting the ball. They've just not been able to finish it.
Their 9th hit of the night. Plate's their first run. And that one is smoked to right, but that's going to be right at the right fielder. And a nice play again by Blackwell. And that gets Winfield out of the inning. Nitro scores 1, though, and we're 4-1 now. Winfield as we head to the bottom of the 5th. You're watching HD Media's presentation of Winfield Baseball.
For more than 170 years, Burke & Herbert Bank continues to deliver service beyond expectations to our customers. With an expanded footprint from the mountains of West Virginia to the Eastern Shore and beyond, we're here for you. As a full-service community bank offering the latest digital tools and guidance, we take the time to understand your unique needs, helping you move your family, your business, and your dreams forward together. Burke & Herbert Bank.
The West Virginia Adult Education Center has free resources to help you get your GED, learn new job skills, earn workplace certifications, and learn English as a second language. No matter where you're starting from, we're here to help. With locations all across the state, changing your life has never been easier. Learn, train, succeed, and earn more money today by visiting our website at freegedwv.com. 4-1 Winfield as they come to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning. Leading off will be Preston Kiefer. Center fielder is 0 for 2 on the night. He flew out to right in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd. Smith still on the hill for Nitro in relief of Charlie Hanks. First pitch inside, 1-0. Smith's done a nice job in relief. His 1 1/3 innings of ball, not allowing Winfield to get any more runs on. the scoreboard. They still lead 4-1 here. First 2 pitches are balls, so we'll go 2-0 to Kiefer. Swing and a miss, 2-1. We might see Kiefer here in a little bit because he's the team's closer. So we'll see what happens in the later innings. Might see him pitching. Ooh, it looked like the ump wanted to ring him up, but stayed back on that 3-1.
It's the same pitch. Looked close. It looked like the same one he had been calling strikes earlier. But
you saw a little bit of a flinch there from the umpire. That one is right in the wheelhouse. That's going to be driven right down the line. Kiefer's going to head to second with a stand-up double. Or actually, he's going to slide in there. And now ball gets away, so he's going to be aggressive on the base pass again. Did he get in? Yes, he did, under the tag. So we'll call that a double with a throwing error. Kiefer gets into third. Winfield has the leadoff runner on third now as they try to answer Nitro's run in the top of the inning.
This is the trademark of this Winfield team, aggressive base running. Kiefer was quick to get to second, and as soon as he saw the ball go by, he was on his way to third.
Here's Blake Withrow. Blake still without an official at-bat. He's walked both times up tonight. And, of course, he had that 340-foot strike that he pulled just foul over the fence last time up. And that falls in for a strike. Nice breaking ball there from Smith to even the count at 1. Smith comes set. Throw over to third. Nitro's got the infield in. Can't afford to give up another run now, down 3 in the bottom of the 5th. That catches the outside corner, 1-2.
Great follow-up pitch. He got that second strike on the outside. He was trying to get him to chase after it.
Yep. That's the way to work it, right? If you're nibbling, just see how far outside you can go. Well,
push it out. Yeah, absolutely.
And he got him to swing through that one. So down goes Withrow for the first out of the inning. And in comes Kimball. Try to see if they can get that run home from third.
I really enjoyed that pitch sequence there. He got that second strike on the outside corner, then pushed him out a little further, and then threw the breaking ball that started off outside and broke back across the middle.
Well,
great sequence.
Kimball first pitch swinging right to the third baseman who was playing in. They're not going to be able to send the run home. So now Nitro doing a good job of getting out of this. They had a runner on third with nobody out. Now 2 outs, and that runner's still there 90 feet away as Kimball grounds out to third.
Great play by Thomas, holding Kiefer there on the third base bag. Nice throw across the diamond as well.
Brody Belcher now steps in. The second baseman's 0 for 1. He grounded out in the third, or in the second, walked in the third. First pitch from Sam Smith is a low breaking ball, 1-0. And give Smith credit. He came in and stopped the bleeding. Nitro was on the verge there, teetering, and he's come in. He walked his first batter, but since then, no walks. And that was what was the problem for Hanks early on, 7 walks. That one's fouled back, even the count at 1. Ooh, slow breaking ball didn't break. Knocked him in the head, but without much heat behind it. Not going to do much damage. Belcher will take that and go down to first.
That's why they put helmets on those boys.
Yeah. If you're going to get hit by a pitch, you want it to be a slow breaking ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now runners on the corners, and now Austin Blackwell will step to the plate. 0 for 1 on the night, walked in the second, flew out to right in the third. And now they're going to have a meeting on the mound. It looks like we're going to have a pitching change. Or at least maybe just to talk about how they want to approach this. We'll see what Will Samuel... Yeah, it looks like they're going to stay with him. I don't know if Sam talked... No, Now it is Will Samuel out there.
Nice music selection again.
Little Elvis for everyone's listening pleasure. And they're going to stick with Smith.
I think that's a signal from the press box to speed it up. A little less conversation, a little more action.
Now batting the right fielder, number 7, Austin Blackwell.
So we reset. Smith still on the hill. Blackwell at the plate. Runners on the corners. 2 outs. Winfield up 4-1. Bottom 5. Pitches up and away. 1-0. And again, a delayed steal, and they're not even going to try it. They'll just let him go.
Yeah. You got 2 outs. There's no sense worrying about these base runners. You got to focus. And
Belcher was out there almost baiting them to try to throw it.
Please.
Nope. You can have that base.
Yeah, let him take it.
We're going to worry about this batter with 2 outs. That one's golfed down the right field line.
Trouble.
Is it going to stay fair? Yeah,
Foul
one of
ball.
those in between in the Bermuda Triangle out there. It would have been a great play if someone could have got to it, but it falls safely between all 3 fielders. Foul ball.
Yeah, Smith needs to get this out because this is the bottom of the order. You do not want to see you do not want to face the top of the order here, so he needs to bear down.
Blackwell watches that one. Doesn't fall away enough from the catcher to do any damage. So just a ball, 2-1. Blackwell sees those runners out there in a scoring position. He's working on a 4-game hitting streak, so if he can make it 5, that could blow this game open. Here's the pitch. And close.
Ooh.
But that one's a ball. Now 3-1. Blackwell certainly has a pitch in mind that he wants to see. 3-1 count, you can be choosy. A little bit low. Maybe got a little aggressive there. That might have been ball 4, but we'll go full now. See if Smith can work out of a jam. Runners on second and third with 2 outs. Winfield up by 3 here in the bottom of the 5th. Here comes the full count pitch to Blackwell. That's high and inside, and that'll load him up as we flip it around to the top of the order. And now Brayson Downey will come up with the bases loaded and a chance to really get Winfield on.
It was a nice pitch, though. He was trying to get that inside corner, and these pitchers have been getting the corner throughout the course of the night.
Yeah.
Just barely missed it on the inside, but it was a nice pitch. But now you got the top of the order up, which could be trouble. So let's see if he can get out of this.
First pitch strike to Downey, who's 1 for 2 on the night. He walked in the first, grounded out to the second baseman in the second, and had a nice hit right up the middle in the 4th for a single. That hit him. Another hit batsman, and that's going to score a run. So an RBI the hard way for Downey, and that's going to make it 5-1 Winfield.
So Smith's not getting that breaking ball to break.
Yep, and that's the problem if it's not breaking. If you're starting it over the hitter and it doesn't break.
It's a second hit. And it's the second person he's hit throwing that pitch. And so far through the game, too, he's been able to keep the bleeding, stop the bleeding, but now
Well,
we'll see what happens here.
here's Ian Cox, 0 for 3 on the night. First pitch outside, 1-0. You don't see many games when Ian's not on base, so we'll see what happens here.
One thing about it, though, he's still throwing that breaking ball. Throwing it inside, outside, that must be his favorite pitch because he's throwing a lot of them.
That one's hit to right. We'll see what happens as the right fielder makes a play on it. Did he come up with it? He did. Nice play out there. Is that still Clark out there in right? I can't see a number, but that was a nice play. That ball kind of tailed on him. He got under it. So that'll do it for the Winfield Generals. They do get a run across, and they'll lead 5-1 as we head to the top of the 6th on this HD media production of Winfield Generals baseball. The West Virginia Adult Education Center has free resources to help you get your GED, learn new job skills, earn workplace certifications, and learn English as a second language. No matter where you're starting from, we're here to help. With locations all across the state, changing your life has never been easier. Learn, train, succeed, and earn more money today by visiting our website at freegedwv.com.
I'm Chris Miller, and I'm proud to sponsor productions like this one that showcase the best of this great state. School pride runs deep here. Friday night lights, crowded gyms, packed auditoriums. It's what makes this such a great place to live and work. So be true to your school. And at Dutch Miller Auto, we're there with you. Because when we build on our young people,
West Virginia Adult Education Center has free resources to help you get your GED, learn new job skills, earn workplace certifications, and learn English. We head to the top of the 6th, 5-1 Winfield. Nitro out-hitting the Generals 9-5, but Winfield has drawn a lot of walks, and when you put Generals on the base paths, you're usually in trouble. They've been aggressive as they usually are tonight, and it's led to some runs and to some mistakes. But overall, Winfield will take where they're at. They've done a nice job of getting out of jams. Nitro's had their chances, but so far have not really been able to capitalize. But give the Wildcats credit in that last inning. Things could have got out of hand, but they got out of that inning with just one run across. So it's still a ball game, 5-1 as we head to the top of the 6th. And leading off for the Nitro Wildcats is the second baseman, Landon Bradford. 2 for 2 tonight, 2 singles. By the way, Austin Blackwell now pitching for the Generals. The 0-1 just misses. Sweeping breaking ball finds the strike zone. 1-2 now. When you can throw that pitch for a strike, there's not much the batter can do. There's another breaking ball, but he gets some bat on that one, and it's going to be close at first, and he beat it out. Little trouble on that one from Taylor, and Bradford beat it out. So the leadoff hitter on for Nitro. We'll flip it over to the top of the order, and Brody Whitman back up in the batter's box. He's 1 for 2 with a single. He was also hit by a pitch. Lifted down the left field line. Nice play by the third baseman, but just couldn't get under it in time. Looked like he had a bead on it. Just kind of misplayed it at the end. It'll drop for a foul ball. It's 0-1. That one's smoked into right, and that's going to get down for a base hit. Once again, Nitro with multiple base runners on now, runners on first and second with no outs as they try to get things going here in the sixth.
Now batting number 1, Wyatt Thomas.
That brings up Wyatt Thomas, the third baseman. 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. First pitch outside as he squared away. Generals were charging on that one. See if they keep that call on. Not looking to bunt there, and it's in for a strike, 1-1. Withrow playing well up, trying to get a read on the batter, whether or not he's going to square away. And he's not. He's playing it straight up, and it's 2-1. So it looks like they took the bunt off after that first pitch. Down 4 runs, you probably need base runners more than you're willing to give up an out. We'll see what Samuel does, if he keeps the call on or if the 2-1 count. Probably looking to see if he can maybe work the pitcher a little bit. That's a strike, so now 2-2. Good job there by Blackwell to hit that corner. And that one's a little further outside, and we're going to go full. So we'll see what Will Samuel does now with runners on first and second. If he sends him on a full count, or if he plays it straight up. Nitro starting to generate something here in the top of the sixth. And that's fair down the first baseline. That's going to be trouble. It's going to score at least one, and they're going to hold him up at third. So Nitro now getting a rally going. Still nobody out. Now down 5-2 with the tying run coming to the plate. Noah Ross. 1 for 3 on the night. Breaking ball high. 1-0. 11 hits tonight for Nitro.
Yeah, it's almost like we've been waiting around for him to get some runs across the plate. They've been hitting the ball well, had runners on throughout the course of the night, but Winfield's been able to get out of it. Runners on second and third. We'll see what happens.
Low, 2-1. That's a strike right at the numbers. Evens the count at 2. This is where if you're Blackwell, you're like, okay, what's my best pitch? Ooh. Just gets a piece to stay alive. That was well placed, right in on the hands, but probably still in the strike zone. So Ross had to swing at it. Did a good job just tipping it to stay alive. That one's a little bit too far outside. We'll go full. That one's popped up in foul territory. There will be a play on it. The play is made by Withrow.
Just close enough to force him to swing that bat. I don't know if that was in the strike zone, but he got him to swing at it.
Yeah, you can't. The worst thing you want to do is get caught looking in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anything close, you're swinging, and good play by Withrow to get under. Those aren't easy fly balls with the wind blowing like that. That's the first out of the inning, so Nitro's still in business. With Sam Smith up at the bat. First pitch strike. Second pitch, he's trying to get that high outside strike, but a little too far out. Evens the count at 1. Smith 2 for 3 tonight. And that one's drilled right up the middle. That's going to take a bad bounce in center field and get past the center fielder. That's going to score 2. And Smith will stand up into second. And we've got a ball game now, 5-4 on the 2-run double from Sam Smith. And the Wildcats still threatening here in the 6th.
Throughout the course of the night, Nitro's been hitting the ball pretty well. Again, that's hit number 12 or 13 maybe. Is it 12?
12, yep.
But
that's probably going to do it for Blackwell as Will Isaacs is out at the hill.
They've been putting the ball in play, just not getting runs across the board. But then you start looking back on this game, the base running, the aggressive base running is what's helped Winfield, but also been their curse because they could have had a few more extra runs, but now you got a 1-run ball game.
All right, we're going to make a pitching change. So we're going to take a quick break on the HD Media's production of Winfield Baseball. 5-4 Winfield, still in trouble here in the top of the 6th. This HD Media production of Winfield Baseball is brought to you by the City of Winfield, helping create a safe atmosphere for students free from bullying. Wheeling University Physical Therapy Program, emphasizing a whole person approach to the investigation of clinical issues. And by Realtor Beth Given, taking your stress away with her experience and determined approach in the business end market.
Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Hurricane is built a little differently than other dealerships on things like a smile and a handshake. That's because Gene and Ryan built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There are no gimmicks or games at Walker, just honest, fair deals, and the huge inventory in both new and pre-owned doesn't hurt either. So when you're ready for your next vehicle, make that short 20-minute drive from Charleston or Huntington to Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Just off the Hurricane exit of I-64, Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, making friends one deal at a time.
All right, so Will Isaacs decides to go to his closer here with 1 out in the 8th to ask Preston Kiefer to come on for a 5-out save in a high-leverage situation. The tying run's on second base now. We'll see what Kiefer can do. He's got good stuff. Used to coming out in the last inning to close out games. He'll have to stretch him a little bit tonight. Nitro's got a big rally going, and they were hitting Blackwell hard. Like you said, Anthony, it was looking like it was just a matter of time. They were getting lots of hits. They were getting base runners. They just weren't getting that timely hit, and it's come together so far for them here as they've plated 3 already here in the 6th.
Yeah, when you're able to hit the ball and put the ball in play, it's just a matter of time before you can get them across the plate. You're just hoping that Winfield wasn't going to be able to explode on you, which they had a few opportunities, but you were able to keep it close. Now you got a 1-run ball game.
Jake Snyder will step in with a chance to tie it up with a hit. First pitch high, 1-0. There was some heat on that pitch. This kid's got some gas. That one's laced to left. Will it be enough to get him around? Nope. They're going to hold him up at third. So first and third now with 1 out. 13th hit of the game for Nitro as they've got those bats going. And Leighton Mari will come up now.
Actually, I agree with that. Just no sense trying to squeeze one in, especially if you're not 100% sure what kind of arm Miller has out there and left. So play it safe. You got 1 out, runner on third. Can even play around with the first base runner, maybe even cause an error here.
Mari looking for his first hit of the night. He did walk last inning. He's 0 for 2, and there's a slow little dribbler. We'll go to second for 1. Will they get 2? They do. So Kiefer comes in and gets the job done, induces the double play to get him out of the inning, and we will go to the bottom of the 6th with Winfield now hanging on 5-4. The West Virginia Adult Education Center has free resources to help you get your GED, learn new job skills, earn workplace certifications, and learn English as a second language. No matter where you're starting from, we're here to help. With locations all across the state, changing your life has never been easier. Learn, train, succeed, and earn more money today by visiting our website at freegedwv.com.
I'm Chris Miller, and I'm proud to sponsor productions like this one that showcase the best of this great state. School pride runs deep here. Friday night lights, crowded gyms, packed auditoriums. It's what makes this such a great place to live and work. So be true to your school. And at Dutch Miller Auto, we're there with you. Because when we build on our young people, everybody wins. I'm proud to lead the way as we bring out the best in West Virginia. I'm Chris Miller, and enjoy the game.
Moving to the bottom of the sixth. Great job by the closer, Preston Kiefer, to get out of that jam at the top of the inning with that nicely turned double play to end it. Winfield holding on now to a one-run lead, 5-4.
I liked his confidence. I mean, as soon as he got it, he turned around,
he knew where he was going.
Didn't even look over at third to try to get the runner, and they knew they were going to turn it in the middle. Great play to get out of the jam.
Jared Miller will lead things off for the Generals. He's 1 for 2 tonight with a double, also hit by a pitch in the fourth. Bounces in, 1-0. 4 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for the Wildcats. 5 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Generals. And Will Isaacs has to be happy that Kiefer got out of that 8th with limited pitches, so he'll be fresh, or out of the 6th with limited pitches, so he'll be fresh for the 7th. One falls in for a strike, now 1-2. And as you mentioned, Smith hung with that breaking ball. You know, some of those breaking balls were getting away from him early. Now he seems to be controlling it a little bit better. And some gas there high and tight to get the strikeout on Miller, and that'll bring Owen Taylor to the plate. Shortstop 1 for 2 with a single. That one's hit out to center, drifting and carrying, but relatively easy play out there for the center fielder. And quickly, there are 2 outs for Winfield here in the 6th.
Now batting the center fielder, number 2, Preston Kiefer.
And now here comes Kiefer to the plate. Of course, we'll see him soon on the mound to try to close it out for Winfield. First pitch not close, 1-0. That one's laced off the mitt of the third baseman. Into left field for a base hit. Wyatt Thomas almost made a nice play on that, but just a little too much juice behind that. And we'll call that a base hit.
That's something that'll wake you up a little late in the game. You start to get kind of settled in over at third.
Yeah, right.
I think he gets piped down your direction, but nice attempt. Couldn't make the play. Got a runner on first.
Let's see if Winfield can generate a 2-run rally. Of course, it was just last inning where they were 1 big hit away from breaking it open, leading 4-1 with the bases loaded. Downey couldn't get it done. Now it's 5-4 suddenly. And it looks like Will Samuel's going to make a change. Talking to Smith, maybe going over some strategy. He's facing Withrow. who's had a couple good at-bats tonight. Now the home plate umpire will be like, all right, make a decision, Will. What are you doing?
Hurry up, boys. American Idol's on. Got to get home.
All right, they're going to stay with Smith. So let's set it up for you. We got Winfield up 5-4, bottom of the 6th, 2 outs. Kiefer's on first. Step into the plate will be Blake Withrow. No hits yet tonight. He does have a couple of walks. And he's gotten some good bats on the ball, but just nothing falling for him yet. We'll see what happens here. Bounces in, and that's going to be a green light for the runner to go. And the throw from the catcher was a bad throw, but it was so bad that it wasn't really trouble because it bounced so far in front of the shortstop that he was able to get over there and cut it off before it got into center field. So we'll call that a stolen base for Kiefer. Now in scoring position. Outside, 2-0. This would be an important insurance run for Winfield. There he goes. Kiefer, such a jump that there's no play there. And I don't even think the catcher wanted to mess with that. Like that. If we throw this away and we let an insurance run come in, that's no good. So let's just concentrate on this hitter with 2 outs. 2-1 is a little high. It's now 3-1.
I appreciate
Smith asking the umpire, where was that? Upset a little bit high.
Appreciate the continued aggressive base running from Winfield there with 2 outs, trying to get that insurance run.
Oh, they're going to run. There's ball 4, so the third walk of the night for Withrow, and that'll bring Kimball back to the plate with runners on the corners.
Now batting the designated hitter number 8, Jake Kimball.
This is where things get interesting. In a close baseball game, one pitch can be a big difference. With her out there dancing at first base, would not be surprised to see him moving right away.
Again, the aggressive base running in the back of the pitcher's mind here.
We've seen from Winfield, they'll do this delayed steal with a runner on third, tempting them to throw it through, but Nitro not going to bite on that one. That's catcher's indifference pretty much. So over to second goes Withrow. Kimball watches that in for a strike, 1-1. Good pitch there from Smith. Early in the count, you don't have to swing at pitches you don't like, even if they're strikes. Sometimes you just want to get a read on something and figure out what you can handle. There's that breaking ball that didn't break. A couple of those similar pitches hit some Generals earlier in the game. It almost looked like Kimball was waiting for that to come down on his helmet. He's like, just fall. I'll just take the base.
Yeah, please.
That's going to be that high strike that's been called on and off tonight. 2-2 now. Big pitch here for Smith. Big at-bat for Kimball. Let's see what happens. That's going to be up the middle. Nice play by the shortstop, and they got him. Well done by Nitro to get out of the inning. And we will go to the 7th. 5-4 Generals. This HD media production of Winfield Baseball is brought to you by the City of Winfield, helping create a safe atmosphere for students free from bullying. Wheeling University Physical Therapy Program, emphasizing a whole person approach to the investigation of clinical issues. And by Realtor Beth Given, taking your stress away with her experience and determined approach in the business end market.
Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Hurricane is built a little differently than other dealerships on things like a smile and a handshake. That's because Gene and Ryan built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There are no gimmicks or games at Walker, just honest, fair deals, and the huge inventory in both new and pre-owned doesn't hurt either. So when you're ready for your next vehicle, make that short 20-minute drive from Charleston or Huntington to Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Just off the Hurricane exit of I-64, Walker Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, making friends one deal at a time.
CJE is a great company to work for. We've been around for 78 years. We are an underground utility construction company all across the East Coast. We are rapidly growing, and we're seeing a huge growth in this market, a huge need for employees. We are always looking for those that are experienced, those that are trying to get their foot in the door. We have positions for everybody. We offer competitive pay. We offer competitive benefits. We take pride.
All right, it'll be the bottom of the order for Nitro here in the top of the seventh. Jonathan Clark stepping in. The right fielder, 1 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a double. It's Preston Kiefer, who did a nice job getting out of a jam in the top of the sixth. We'll try to get the 5-out save here, working the seventh. Clark kind of crowding the plate there. That was close to being a strike, even though it looked in on his hands. And the umpire gives the pitch to Clark, 1-0. A little bit high on that one, 2-0. Inside, 3-0. That one's in for a strike. You don't want to walk the leadoff hitter in the last inning. That's a recipe for disaster. Keeper did a nice job of getting one across there. We'll see what happens here, 3-1. That's low. So on to start the seventh is Clark. And that'll bring Charlie Hanks to the plate as the potential go-ahead run.
Got to be careful, too, because this wind's starting to pick up. We've noticed we've had a few fly balls and bloopers even. Be a little tricky.
Good pitch there, fooled Hanks, 0-1. Nitro has not really been aggressive on the pass at all. I mean, it's tough to say because Winfield is so aggressive. They'll make every team look like they're not aggressive, but Nitro really hasn't been running much. Same pitch, same result.
Yeah,
and so far, Hanks has no idea what Kiefer's throwing out there. Those were two bad swings. 0-2 now. We'll see if Hanks can figure this out. If you're the Generals, you probably just stick with what's working. That one's high, 1-2.
That's actually my favorite pitch on the 0-2 count, that high fastball.
Give him something else to think about.
Yeah, show it to him. That's usually hard to hit.
That one's into the gap, and that's going to get down. Runner on his way to third, but boy, we talked about not being aggressive. That was over-aggressive, and they just ran into an out. Nice play there on the cutoff or on the relay, and they turn it over to the third baseman, and that's an out. So a little bit lucky there for the Generals. Nitro handing them an out. Instead of first and second with no outs, it's a runner on first with 1 out, and now one pitch can get you out of the game.
I like the aggressive base running, but that was a great play. Great cutoff play by Taylor. Turn around, get him at third with a nice throw.
Fouled straight back, 0-1.
Basic baseball, but it's good fundamental baseball. I like to see it.
I mean, the theory there is you make him make a good throw, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you know anything about Taylor, 9 times out of 10, he's going to make that play.
Yeah,
I mean,
defensively,
he had him beat by 10 feet.
Yeah, defensively, he's a solid young baseball player. You don't probably want to test his skill set.
Now 1-1 to Landon Bradford. He's 2 for 3 on the night. 2 singles and reached on an error. Hanks takes his lead from first. Bounced in again, 2-1. Uh-oh, there we go. Taylor-made. Steps on. Oh, you know what? Bradford's quicker than I thought. That kid beat that out. I thought that was going to be 6 unassisted over the first, but give Bradford credit. He got out of the box quickly, beat it down the first baseline, so it's just a fielder's choice. Out at second, now 2 outs. And that'll bring Whitman to the plate. The last chance for the Wildcats. First pitch high, 1-0. It was that second bounce off the mound that probably slowed that mounder up a little bit. If that had stayed low, that probably would have been a double play. Fouled off.
Wake you up in the dugout.
Yeah, I'm impressed by Kiefer. He's not a big guy, but he's got some juice behind his pitches. He's got some movement. He's got some good stuff. Whitman looking for a pitch he can handle. He didn't handle that one. That's a great pitch there. Fooled him. We've seen that a lot tonight from Kiefer. I don't know if what he's throwing up there that's fooling them so badly, but they're not getting a beat on his breaking ball.
Well, we're in an odd position. We can't really quite see the break, but that thing looked like it just took a dive into the dirt.
Here's the 1-2. And there's a weak grounder to first. And that's going to do it as Withrow makes the play himself. And the Generals get it done. 5-4 your final. Nitro made things interesting, but at the end of the day, the Generals get the win. 4 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for Nitro. 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for Winfield, as the Generals rebound from their loss to Huntington to get the win over the Nitro Wildcats. For everyone here at HD Media, Robert Valencia working cameras down the third baseline. Thank you, sir. Ethan Young, producer extraordinaire. Anthony Lewis on color. I'm Rick Lord. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next time on our next HD Media baseball broadcast.